It's part 3 of our interview with Ryan Johnson on the podcast, which is all about the world of marketing on television through TV shopping networks and infomercials. Are we on the air? I'm your host, Shawn Wilsey, and for over 29 years I've hosted shows on cable shopping networks generating hundreds of millions of dollars in sales, and now I want to be your guide into this world, explaining how it works, why it works, what doesn't work, and introduce you to the people who are making it the success that it is today. And one of those persons is Ryan Johnson. We'll get back into our interview with Ryan in just 1 second. I do want to point out that I have updated my YouTube channel. I never mention it. YouTube.com/Shawn Wilsey. Again, my full name, ShawnWilsie. Although I'm sure you can find it if you just search my name in the YouTube search box. But anyway, I have uploaded 3 videos to YouTube. One we were just discussing with Ryan on the last show about the pixie stick. So the famous moment where I slammed or attempted to this giant pixie stick, and you can see how large that is. That is now on my YouTube channel. There's one where I pretty much stopped the show to goof on Ryan of the way that his microphone cable was running through his tie. And there's another one, because we mentioned on our first part of the interview about how competitive we are. And so an example of that, where we race to see who can quick change a watch strap, a quick change strap on an Invicta watch. That is on my YouTube channel. So again, it's youtube.com/Shawn Wilsey. I think if you just search my name, though, you can probably find those. But I want to get back to chatting with you, Ryan, because we still have some time here. And I am just shocked by the fact, I keep replaying through my head the fact that we only worked together for about a year. It feels like we worked together for years. I mean, that blows me away that it was only a year.
I started with Invicta. It was at the end of September, beginning of October. My first show was on a remote broadcast. First time down at the Marine Pavilion. I was on with Tim Temple for 2 hours of prime time, and there was a delay of about 6 seconds.
Yeah.
So, and that was really difficult.
That's an eternity. Yeah.
That it's really hard to get anything done correctly. And I was overwhelmed. And I remember Tim Temple sat me down and he said, "Hey, you look a little overwhelmed right now. Here's one word of advice." He said, "You're looking at the cart. There are probably about 40 watches on there. Don't worry about them. Just focus what's in front of you at the time. Once that watch moves,
good advice.
Focus on the next watch." And it was some of the best advice I could have ever received. And I've actually bestowed that advice on to other people here that have started out. So I appreciate him for that.
It shows when, and we're going to have Tim Temple on the show in 2022, so because I want to go back and trace the origin, because before there was Invicta shows on Shop NBC, there were other brands, because you really have to look back at how this all started, because the idea that a man is going to buy anything off television to this day, and I've had this conversation on past shows, actually, with some of my guests, you can't get a guy to watch a television shopping show short of putting a gun to his head. But yet an Invicta show is on, and the men are lined up waiting to watch these shows. It's unprecedented in this industry.
Yes. Yeah, it's really amazing. It's really breaking the mold. And it's interesting because you have that male dominant audience, but then really everything else, all the other categories for the most part are, in a sense, more female. And so it makes a very interesting dynamic.
I don't want to get too far away from the more casual conversation that we were having just about getting to know Ryan over the years. One of the highlights, I think, of my time of knowing Ryan Johnson when I lived in Minneapolis was the weekly Walk with Wilsey. Remember those?
I do. The WWWWs,
yes,
where we would alternate week to week. We'd go where you resided in downtown.
Yep.
Then somehow lure you out to the suburbs,
which I hated doing, but I did for you. Yes.
And you did. And we had we got the exercise in, we got to catch up, and we just had some fun. I think, maybe on occasion, once or twice, there's maybe a little box of wine in a backpack when we were going around, and that's where all.
Possibly, yes.
I genuinely appreciated those times, and I guess just with stories real quick, we did a WWWW, where Shawn was working an overnight show and came out to my place at, I don't know, maybe it was 6 or 7 in the morning. I
Probably.
can't remember if you maybe crashed in one of the rooms for a couple hours, and then we went to go for a walk. Well, the funny thing is that you left your suit on the
Oh,
hanger
boy.
behind the door.
That's right.
And funny enough, I have that same brand here tonight with me,
Oh.
the suit. And whether this makes it or not to your, edited
Oh,
or
this will
unedited
go.
version
Yeah,
of the
this is
show.
good. This is
Okay.
good.
Okay. So he left the suit there and didn't realize. We went for our walk, had a great time,
Yep.
caught up, and we actually went for extensive walks.
Yeah.
I remember they were long walks and they were great. Well, again, I was like, well, what can I do with this? And so my girls were with me at the time. Maybe they were, well, in 2012, they had to be about maybe 8 and 10,
Yeah.
9 and 11. So I said, girls, put this jacket on and start jumping up and down on my bed. And I'm going to videotape
True.
this.
It's so true.
And so they're jumping up and down on the bed and screaming and everything else. And then I said, let's just go outside. Dad's going to wear this jacket and ride his bike around. Can you record me doing this? And they're like, yeah, we can do that. And so then they're, taping me, biking around, pretending like I'm sweating and stuff. And remember, we ended up going down to the park, and I said, this is all going to be really fun at the end. And so I think they're on the swing sets and, chasing each other, playing tag, all with this suit jacket on.
Stupid suit
And then
going on. Yes.
And I remember too, I'm like, okay, girls, we're at the park in the neighborhood. And I said, all right, now just film this porta potty. Dad's going to be in there, and then just come out and
It's
just
true.
film me for a while. Yep. And so they're filming this porta potty, and all of a sudden I come out just rubbing my stomach and just kind of leaning up against the porta potty.
Pure class. Pure class.
My stomach and wearing the coat.
Yes. Oh my God.
It was great.
It was brilliant.
So funny. And that's just, that's the fun that we've had over the years. I'm just grabbing. It's funny because I have that same manufacturer.
I don't even
Shawn
remember the. Yes,
yes,
it.
Yes, with the orange tag.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. Isn't that funny?
That is. I have not seen that brand since. So that is very funny that you have that.
It's close to the same color. I think you had a navy.
It looked very, very, very similar to that. Yes. It's so funny because when Ryan and I, as we've gotten to know each other, we've stayed in touch since I moved to Texas back almost 9 years ago now. And
in fact, I came down and visited you.
Well, that's just where I was going with this, because he came down. I had just, and I don't remember, 6, 7 years ago, whatever it was, I had major hernia surgery, and I was still in recovery. So Ryan was nice enough to come down, spend some time with me. And here's how good of a friend Ryan Johnson is I'm, again, still, I'm bruised, and for any man that's ever had this surgery, you bruise everywhere, and we'll leave it at that. And so I'm still in recovery, very bruised. So what's a good thing to do? Well, drive out to Texas wine country and proceed to stop at every winery that we can go to. And Ryan played, I still tell people about this, one of the best practical jokes on me ever at 2 of those wineries.
And the whole time I was in communication with your producer, Glenn.
Yes. I had no idea. I didn't know about this till like 2 years later that this was all a joke.
Oh, we held it in for a while. Yes. Was it 2 years ago?
Oh, it was, I don't remember, but
so it was, yeah, it was 2015, January 2015 I came out there. So
okay.
Yeah, it was a secret for a
lot of years.
Which was made it even better.
What he did was anytime, because again, we're at wineries, we're sampling because you can go to the tasting rooms, and anytime I had to go take care of business, he would tell whoever was working at the winery, serving the drinks, when he comes back, ask him, I don't remember what the verbiage was, but it was something to the effect of, didn't you used to sell Invicta or something like that?
Or just you're on TV, like something like that, just to sort of like inflate the ego a bit, I guess you could say.
So what happened at the first winery, then, after you do something, a little sampling in the tasting room, you go on to another one.
Wait. But you forgot a key important part.
What's that?
Well, once we left the first winery and this person apparently recognized you from television,
Yes.
we got in the car and you said, "Oh, Ryan, did you get recognized at the winery? I don't remember. Did you? Because I did." Oh, wait, that's right. You didn't.
Of course I
I
did.
was just like, I was just boiling inside. I'm like, oh my gosh, this just went tenfold for you. This is so great. I'm going to do it at the next winery.
I've
So
forgotten I did that, but that's totally me. Yes.
that is
Yeah,
totally
but
you.
anyway, so as people probably figured, yeah, we went to the next one, and it happened again because I had to use the men's room, and so he proceeds to set it up. And this time I stopped. I took a selfie with the guy. I befriended him on Facebook and all this. This poor kid. I think we're still Facebook friends. It's like, had no
But
clue.
it was great. And I can't remember if I said I'll give you an extra tip or whatever, but oh, it was so worth it. You were in the restroom, men's room, and I'm texting Glenn. I'm like, oh my gosh, he just bought the farm on this whole thing.
I remember the little road trip out there ended at this little restaurant in Johnson City, Texas, where we ran into these lovely women. They were twins, probably in their 60s or 70s.
At the restaurant. Yes.
Sweetest women. But we'd seen them at the same restaurant for lunch. And so we decided that, well, since it was dinner and we'd had a few drinks in us, we were going to go say hi to these women, befriended them, just the sweetest people imaginable.
Yeah, like in their 60s or
Oh,
so,
had
right?
to be. Yeah, had to be.
Yeah, 60s, 70s. Yeah.
And just it was the neatest little situation. So again, just it's an amazing friendship that I've been able to have with Ryan, in addition to just being great times selling Invicta watches on Shop NBC. It was Shop NBC back when I was there, which Ryan is about to go do again. In fact, I'm going to have to let him go here so he can go get ready for his show. Let everybody know where they can find you on social media, though. As much as it hurts me to say this, please feel free to plug any and all social media.
I would be more than happy to
promote
myself
yes.
on your podcast.
Yes, I know you would.
It's really simple. It's Invicta Ryan on all social media platforms. That's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, TikTok.
Wait, Periscope? You don't have
Periscope was from I haven't logged in for years, but I don't have MySpace.
Okay. That you know of,
Ryan,
yes.
That I know of, exactly. But yeah, I'm very active there. I also have a direct email, which is invictacollectors@gmail.com. You can send me an email also.
And it's on Shop HQ all the time. How many days a week are you out there?
It depends. Some weeks it can be, I think this week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday. So it's a busier week here. So yeah, and then when I'm not doing that, I'm doing the real estate and doing the boating work too.
Are y'all gonna be able to do the cruise this year? Do you know?
I haven't heard of anything for a cruise. I don't think anything is done because we would have been selling something already. I mean, typically we've done the cruises at the end of February into the beginning of March. So, pun intended, that ship has sailed for this year. So,
really? Okay.
I thought.
What a way to close the show.
For a second there.
What a way to close the interview.
In class and style.
Of course. I would expect nothing less.
Well, let me say this. It's genuinely been a pleasure being on the show here,
it's
Shawn. It's great to see you through Zoom and just, in a sense, like you said, catch up and reunite a little bit, and would love to be able to catch up again here soon, my friend.
Yeah, we got to get you back down to Texas. There's probably not a huge chance I'll be in Minneapolis anytime soon, but one never knows. But you're always welcome here. Living in rural Texas now, it's a totally different world than you ever saw me in before. Yeah. So, and I love it.
Not only from the suburbs, but even out that much.
Exactly. But I wouldn't trade it for anything. Thank you so much, Ryan Johnson. Now, even though we've said goodbye to Ryan Johnson, there's one more piece of audio that I want to play, and it's another way of saying goodbye to Ryan Johnson. The date on this is June 14th, 2012. I told the story in a previous podcast, so I'm not going to go through the whole thing again, but my last day on air at Shop NBC was the very next day, June 15th. So this was the last show I ever did with Ryan Johnson, and he had no idea that was our last show. Part of my agreement with the company was to ride out to the end of my contract that I couldn't let anybody know. No one could know that my last day was June 15th. So I had to keep the biggest secret in the history of the world. Anybody doubts my ability to keep a secret, I can keep a secret. And so this would have been the last time that I closed a show with Ryan Johnson. So I think it's appropriate that we just take a short piece of audio. Just listen to this. It's almost gone. 616-517 is your item number. Ryan mentioned, let's see how good my memory is. Noon, you are back.
No, I'm back tomorrow. Mike Davis is on later this afternoon, and I'm back on from 6 to 8 tomorrow morning, I believe with Katina.
Where did I get noon from?
Because I think we have a promo coming up later on with...
That's what it was, indeed. I will see you tomorrow. Please try and join me for my show tomorrow. A very special show to be had for sure, and I really hope as many of you as possible can join me at 3 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. So a couple hours that we'll be sharing with you, and Carmela's going to join me for that show starting at 3 a.m. And actually, now that I've said that, it's 2 a.m. when that show just dawned on me, 2 a.m. Eastern, 1 Central. Now, a lot of tears were shed that day. I got to admit that was quite a wild day. But maybe someday I'll play. My anniversary show is coming up in January, my 30th anniversary in the industry. So maybe I'll play some of that audio. Hey, listen, if you're enjoying the podcast, please make sure you subscribe. There are a lot of great apps where you can subscribe. Spotify, iHeartRadio, your Apple Podcasts, so you never miss an episode, because we will be having Ryan back, and also Tim Temple's going to be joining us in an upcoming show. I hope you'll check me out on Twitter, Instagram, and as I mentioned before, YouTube, Facebook, Shawn Wilsey. Just search me there. Thank you for listening to our series of interviews with Ryan Johnson. This has been a King Bobby production.
Yes, I know, Travis. That's why we give such bargains.